What if the past was not buried in castles or cathedrals, but sometimes buried beneath something as ordinary as an ice cream shop? In a quiet Polish town, archaeologists scrape through layers of earth only to uncover the carved stone lid of a knight's sarcophagus. A man once hailed as a hero, forgotten for centuries, resting beneath waffle cones and sprinkles. Now imagine the flicker of torchlight on medieval armour, the clink of chainmail, and the sounds of a sword sliding from its sheath. Then imagine it all silenced, sealed in stone until one accidental excavation opened the tomb again. Welcome to the Obelisk, where faith, myth and history collide in forbidden memory. Tonight we're asking, who was this knight beneath the ice cream shop? And why was he buried so grandly in the first place? Here's how we're going to tackle and explore this. Firstly, we'll step into the medieval world of knights and the sacred chivalry that ruled Poland in the 14th century. Then we're going to examine the tomb itself, its artistry, its symbolism, and the secrets that the stone tried to keep. Finally, we're going to look at mystery. Was this knight Sir Lancelot himself, or a local hero, or someone erased from official memory? So, let's begin. The knight was more than a warrior. In medieval Europe, knighthood was sacred, a fusion of military might and divine oath. Knights swore loyalty not just to kings, but to God himself, their sword consecrated to defend Christendom. In Poland, this oath carried special weight. The Teutonic knights fought bitter wars on these lands, their black crosses gleaming on white mantles, clashing with Polish nobles who sought both independence and divine favour. So, when a knight was laid to rest, his tomb was not merely a grave, it was a sermon carved into stone. Archaeologists in Wrocław were not expecting a medieval knight when they dug beneath the cellar floor, yet there it was, a massive stone sarcophagus, its lid carved with the figure of a knight in repose, a sword at his side, his hands folded in eternal prayer. The imagery speaks volumes. The sword was a sign of noble defense. The folded hands symbolized eternal vigilance in service to God. And the tomb's sheer size suggests wealth, prestige, and an honored name. But here's the haunting twist. The name has been lost. The knight's identity erased by time. Now it lies beneath stone and a lot of speculation. So why has the press dubbed him Lancelot? Well, other than clickbait, it's because the romance of Arthurian legends lingers over all medieval knighthood. Lancelot was the perfect knight. Flawed? Yes. But remembered as the embodiment of loyalty, bravery, and tragic love. Yet, he was a literary creation of the 12th and 13th century French romances, and this knight, buried beneath Gdansk, dates to the late 13th or possibly early 14th century, a real man, not a storybook hero. So, was this Polish knight truly Lancelot, or was that name projected centuries later to stir imagination? The truth is, medieval knights often modelled themselves in Arthurian ideals. They read the romances, lived by the codes, and sometimes they tried to embody those myths in their real lives and within their tombs. Perhaps the comparison is not so far-fetched, even if it's purely symbolic. As far as the legends go, Merlin and the crew ended up in Gillinor, not Poland. If you know, you know. So, what does it mean that a once celebrated knight now lies forgotten beneath a dessert shop? History has a strange way of humbling glory. Kings become quiz night trivia, knights become footnotes, and sacred oaths turn into curiosities beneath layers of earth. But perhaps this rediscovery is a resurrection of sorts, like Oregon's idea of souls rising again. Link up here. This knight has risen, not in flesh, but in memory. A forgotten man now becomes a story once more. So, who was the knight beneath the ice cream shop? We may never know his name, but his tomb tells us what mattered. To him, it was faith, loyalty, and the hope of being remembered. And yet, for centuries, he was not. Maybe the heretical lesson here is quite simple. Glory fades, but the stories survive. This has been the Obelisk. So a question for you. Do you think this knight's story deserves to be remembered alongside the greats? Or should he remain a mystery cloaked in stone? Leave me your thoughts below. I respond to every single comment. Now, if you've made it this far, thank you very much. Now, subscribe. I'm trying to hit 1,000 by the end of the year. And every story we unearth together keeps the past alive. Until next time, take care. Back to agility.